HOA Showdown: How I Fought for My Driveway and My Peace of Mind. It was barely 6:30 a.m. when I stepped outside to grab the morning paper. The crisp air felt good against my face as I opened the door, but as I bent down to pick up the paper, I was hit by an unexpected sound. Shouting. I froze for a second. There, in the driveway, stood Sarah, the neighborhood queen of the HOA, waving her phone and pointing dramatically at the small gate I had installed across my driveway just the night before. "You can't do this! I'm calling 911!" she yelled, as if I had set up a barricade at a hospital entrance, rather than just blocking a little used shortcut through my private property. It seemed absurd, but she wasn't done. "You've blocked the public path!" she screamed, her face turning beet red. I stood there, bewildered. Sarah, with her trademark oversized sunglasses and floral pajama pants, looked like she was about to explode. And in the distance, I could already see flashing lights approaching. This wasn't just a bad morning. It was the start of an all-out battle. The battle for my driveway. The backstory. I live in a quiet, suburban neighborhood, tucked at the end of a cul-de-sac. My property is the only one with direct access to the lake, and I've lived here for years with peace and solitude. My driveway isn't just a place to park. It's a path leading to my garage and a small side gate I built for easier access. Over time, though, it had become a shortcut for my neighbors. And at first, I didn't mind. Kids rode their bikes through, joggers took a quick route, and dog walkers cut across. I didn't think much of it. But then it started to get worse. I found dog poop on my lawn. Teenagers used the space to hang out and light fireworks. One day, Sarah's toddler darted in front of my truck as I was backing out. I slammed on the brakes just in time, missing him by mere inches. The nerve of Sarah? Instead of apologizing, she simply waved and yelled, "Watch out next time!" That was the last straw. The tipping point. I knew I had to do something before someone got hurt, or worse, tried to blame me for their negligence. So, I decided to install a small, waist-high gate. Nothing fancy, just a simple metal gate with a latch. It wouldn't take much to open, but it would send the message that this was private property. I even left a polite note by the gate, asking people to respect my privacy. But I was wrong to think it would be a quiet solution. The confrontation. The next morning, I woke to Sarah standing in my driveway, acting like I had committed the worst crime imaginable. She pointed at the gate, calling it a hostile blockade. I calmly explained that it was my driveway and my property. But Sarah wasn't having it. She told me I had no right to block a vital community route, and even suggested that people with joint pain needed the shortest route possible. As I tried to remain composed, she whipped out her phone and dialed 911. Within minutes, 2 police cars arrived, lights flashing. Sarah launched into her rant before the officers even got out of their vehicles. She explained how I had barricaded the community's shortcut, as if I were blocking a fire exit, not a private path. The officers, looking mildly confused, turned to me and asked if I owned the property. I handed them my property deed and a copy of the survey I had printed the night before. Sarah, seeing this, tried to argue that she had emails from the HOA president and claimed that my gate was illegal. The officers calmly reviewed everything and, after a few minutes, informed Sarah that this was clearly private property, and I had every right to block access. Sarah was livid. "You'll regret this," she muttered as she stomped away. And as she left, I had a feeling that this wouldn't end here. The HOA gets involved. Later that day, I received an official letter from the HOA, accusing me of violating community guidelines by restricting access to shared spaces. Sarah had already rallied a few neighbors and created a storm of complaints. The HOA president, Barry, seemed caught between following the rules and appeasing Sarah's dramatic outbursts. But I wasn't backing down. I gathered every document, my deed, zoning laws, and photos showing that Sarah had been trespassing for years. I also included the video footage from my security cameras, showing Sarah and others casually using my driveway without permission. The following week, the HOA scheduled a meeting to address my violation. I showed up prepared, folder in hand, ready to defend my property. Sarah was already there, looking like she was about to give a speech at a courtroom. When it was my turn, I calmly presented my case. My driveway was private property, and Sarah's entitled behavior had gone too far. Then came the twist. I presented the footage. Sarah sneaking around my property late at night, measuring the gate with a flashlight. The room went silent. Sarah stammered, trying to justify her actions, but the damage was done. Barry looked uncomfortable, and the mood in the room shifted. People who had been neutral began to see through Sarah's manipulative behavior. The fallout. After the meeting, Sarah continued to cause trouble. She even resorted to vandalism, dumping water in my mailbox and placing a spike strip near my gate. But this time, I was ready. I filed police reports, documented every incident, and even issued her a cease and desist letter. Despite all her efforts, Sarah couldn't stop the truth from coming out. The HOA launched an investigation into her actions. It turned out that Sarah had been misusing her position in the HOA for years, submitting fake complaints, and even trying to falsify property records. The investigation was a bombshell, and within days, Sarah's reputation in the neighborhood was ruined. A week later, a for sale sign appeared in front of her house. She didn't say goodbye to anyone. No farewell, no explanation, just silence. The neighborhood, which had been tense and divided, began to return to normal. Reflection and conclusion. In the end, I learned that standing up for your boundaries isn't just about property rights. It's about self-respect and not letting someone else's entitlement dictate your life. My driveway was never just a piece of concrete. It was a reminder that I deserved peace and privacy. But the story doesn't end there. As I stand here today, with my permanent gate and a new sense of security, I can't help but wonder, how many people like Sarah exist, pushing the boundaries of others because they believe they're entitled to everything? What do you think? Was I right to fight for my space, or did I overreact? Leave a comment below, and let's discuss where the line should be drawn between personal boundaries and community rights.